Well, welcome to Beyond Battlecreek. I'm Jeff Henry, and today we are joined with my friend and fellow campus pastor, Lucas Smith, man. Welcome to the pod, dude.
Thanks for having me on here.
Man, it's been a while. You've been on a couple pods. This isn't an amateur move for you. This is not a novice experience. Like you're a longtime pod. You've been on two or three.
Been blessed to be on here a couple times. It's a lot of fun.
Man, listen, you've crushed it. I love the conversation you had with Josiah back a year ago. So if you haven't checked out those episodes, go back and listen. It was a really good pod. Did a good job. Learned a lot about you, but it's been a while. It's been a while, and we've grown since then. Like your campus has grown. We're back in session, and so for the new listeners, I just want to let's just circle back and talk about you. Talk about your journey to Battlecreek. How did you get here? How did you get to Jenks? What is your story? Kind of give us a Cliff Notes version of how God has worked in your life up till now.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Yeah, it's been a great ride, man. And just kind of a quick version of it. Came here from another church in Tulsa, and was brought on initially as the high school pastor here at the Broken Arrow campus. And God blessed us with some amazing time spent in student ministry here, and saw a lot of growth throughout the student ministry experience at Battlecreek here at the Broken Arrow campus. And then there was a time where I felt like the Lord was kind of nudging my heart to do something new and do something different. And just happened to be about the same time that the conversation started to circulate around there being a Jenks campus. And the funny part of the story is, when it was first mentioned, I threw my name in the hat, and I was told that there was already a guy that they had found, and I wasn't going to be in the running for it. And the funny story is that happened to be Matt Ward, who is now my boss at this time. And some things kind of happened, and he transitioned to move to the Midtown campus, and so it came back open. So I thought, okay, here's my chance. And so I went in, threw my name in the hat again, and got told no a second time. And I don't know if it was just stupidity or stubbornness or whatever, the combo of all those things, where I ended up throwing my name in the third time. And the third time got me a meeting at IHOP. And that meant that I was in the running for this position. And man, the Lord just kind of worked in some amazing ways. And Pastor Alex was so kind to give me the opportunity to be able to step in and lead the Jenks campus. And it happened fast. My wife and I had our third child, Emery, 3 days before the very first time we met physically on the campus for a prayer night. And my wife was able to come with all three of our kids and our brand new baby to that event. And man, it was just such a special time, a special moment in the history of that campus. And Pastor led us that night, and some powerful time of prayer. And then, man, the Lord just kept doing some awesome work. And so I wrapped up my time in student ministry at an event that we had back then called the Lift Tour, and wrapped that up on a Sunday morning as we were staying at a hotel here in Tulsa with all of our students, and hopped in the car. And instead of riding back to Broken Arrow to finish out the student morning, I instead drove the opposite direction, drove across the river, and met Ty Mayfield, our worship pastor over there, and we launched our first service.
Wow.
And so from that moment forward, man, it's been a great journey. It's been a great ride, watching God get us to our grand opening on Easter 3 years ago. And man, just the cool things God has done. I'm just excited to be able to be a part of that.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's fun to watch. Like, for you and Jan to be able to minister, and what looks like from an outsider perspective as a sweet spot for both of you, to see her in the things that she's passionate about, and to see you. I mean, listen, two student guys right here. Like, I was in student ministry before I became a campus pastor. And I just think about, look at us, man. Look at where we are. Look at,
your students must have been a little less stressful, because, you see all my hair has gone away here on the top of my head. But, that's just true student ministry.
I have a lot more gray hair than you. So, we're working through that. But, man, it's been great to kind of hear those stories about how God laid out, Matt Ward, and then someone else. And God had better plans for Matt, because Matt, who is he's our multi-site director now. Matt laid the foundation for several years in Midtown, and then I came in on top of that. And so just to stand on the shoulder of really great people.
Absolutely.
In that. And so, and think about the beginning of Jenks. It was you and Ty. Is that the only staff that's left from the beginning?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's great.
Yep.
Have that. You've got a great staff at
We
Jenks.
do, man. We've been blessed from the very beginning. I believe God's ordained for that specific season every single one of those staff members that's been able to work on our Jenks campus. We could go around and tell stories all day about the significance and the impact that every single one of those staff members that God has blessed us with to come through the doors of the Jenks campus to serve just is incredibly significant. And so we've been blessed, and man, we just brought on 3 new staff members at our campus, and man, they're just a rocking and a rolling, and God has really brought us together as a team in a very special way. And we fight for each other, we love each other, and we get at it every week.
Let's go.
So, but all that doesn't happen without the people of Jenks. And the people of Jenks at Battlecreek Church just are everything, you know, and they're just such a special group of people. And man, we're just blessed to be able to serve with them.
Man, it's awesome. Happy birthday, Jenks, by the way.
Yes, sir.
Just
3 years, baby.
3 years. You think about, in ages, like in baby years, right? Like you were just sitting there as a baby little church, then you started crawling, and now you're walking. And I would even say at 3, you guys are not just crawling, you're running in the ministry. Man, so you've been there 3 years. You've seen God work in the city of Jenks for a while. Like, what are some things that you want to celebrate? Like, this is a space for you to celebrate what God is doing. So let's open it up. Tell us about it.
Yeah, the city of Jenks is just such a special place, and the community has really welcomed us in as a church with just open arms. And we went, as you were talking, from that first year of having to introduce ourselves at every turn, it seemed like, and explaining who we are, where we're coming from, and just the story of Battlecreek, to now it's such a blessing to be one of the first, I feel like, churches that we get to respond in our community, and just develop some really key relationships with some leaders in our community. That's just been such a blessing. And man, there's just been so many milestone moments along the way of the Jenks campus that it'd be impossible to celebrate every single one of them today. But from our grand opening, launch day, when we saw just all of the dreams and the prayers and the work come to fruition, to celebrate with all those people on April Fool's Day of all days, on Easter Sunday, was such a neat experience. And then, man, just the community involvement we've been able to have, from loving on our firefighters and police officers to loving on our teachers and faculty members at our local schools, being able to go and serve people in our community. One of my favorite stories, it comes in the second year in which we were a campus, and one of our community groups, one of the members in that group had a pipe bust in their home on a Sunday morning. And I mean, this was just no little leak. I mean, it just flooded their entire house. Wow. And it was just such a neat picture of the body of Christ, as this entire community group said, hey, we got to go help. And so after service, they all jumped in their cars and they drove over, and I drove over to check on it afterwards and see what I could do to help. And by the time that I had gotten there, and this was an hour after church, they had almost everything completely removed from that home. Wow. And I mean, when I say it was flooded, it was up to your shins, in water. And they were able to get all this stuff out. We were able to go put it in storage for this family. And like, it was just such a neat story, because at that point in time, that family was very new to our community. And so it really locked them in with the community that God has built there at the Jenks campus. And, there's just so many neat stories where our people have just stepped in the gap and stood in the gap for others, and looked beyond themselves to go and serve our community. Yeah. And, I think the most common thing that people say when they walk in the doors at our Jenks campus is, and this just feels like home. Yeah. And that's really been our theme that we've really tried to drive towards since day one, is to create an environment where people can come in and they feel loved, they feel welcome, they feel known, but most importantly, they experience the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so it's been a blessing, man, and to see all those wins that we've experienced in the community.
That's awesome. Like, what are some, as I think about Jenks and all the ministry that you've had, how has it changed, and how has it adapted during COVID and all the things that we've just experienced in the past year? Yeah,
I think it's caused us to be hyper focused, and to kind of maybe push aside the things that we were doing that maybe didn't make a significant difference for not only for people that attend our campus, but for people in our community. Yeah. And so we've really been able to hyper focus on several different things, and really has pushed us beyond the walls of the church. Because, during much of quarantine, we weren't even able to meet in the church. And so it's really focused us on being outside of those walls, which I think is a really healthy place to be as a church. And, it not only plays out in our staff team understanding that model, but our people, they understand that we exist to serve others in our community. And so, if anything, Jeff, I think it's really just put us in a place where we're just super focused all the time in all of our conversations on what can we do this week? What can we do this month that's going to make the biggest difference and help people that don't know Christ in our community to be able to want to come to a place where they can have the opportunity to know Christ.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I know several people that go to your campus, that just in our circles that intertwine over camp and TUL and kids events. And, you've got some amazing people that are on your dream teams.
Yes, sir.
I want to highlight some of those things. Like who are some of the people that are serving? You don't have to use them by their real name. You can give them a pseudonym, but tell us about people in general, like that's just serving that you just want to celebrate.
Yeah, man. Just going through a lot of our areas, from starting when you pull on the campus from our Hello Team. I mean, we just have some rock star Hello Team members that not only are going to greet you with a smile, but are going to take the chance to actually get to know you and are going to care about you and are going to pray for you. And so when you come back the next week, they're going to ask you how a certain situation went that they heard about that you told them as you were walking in the door. And so just very committed people. And it's really neat to see we're a really young, family-driven campus as far as kind of the layout of the makeup of our people. And so it's really encouraging, Jeff, and I know you see this at your campus as well, but to see these families serving together, and you've got a guy driving a golf cart, but he also has his two kids right there with him, and they're unzipping the golf cart to let people in and then zipping it back up so it keeps them warm as they're coming into the campus. And just really neat things like that we see on our Hello Team. And then, man, in our kids area, it's just been such a blessing. We've seen just an explosion of kids in our kids ministry because, again, our location is just a large makeup of young families. And so our people understand, those Dream Team members understand that this has nothing to do with babysitting, but they are literally discipling this next generation. And, from cards that are written every week to these kids that are in their classes and encouraging them and telling them about the story and encouraging them to live out maybe some of the truths that they pointed out to, man, encouraging these kids to learn scripture memory verses. And we've just seen such a growth in our kids and their desire to learn scripture and to internalize scripture. And all that starts with those Dream Team members, right? Like
they're awesome.
It's their investment. It is their desire to understand that the significance of the role that they play on a Sunday morning is great, and they take that incredibly seriously.
Yeah, you've got some people on your kids' Dream Team that even made some YouTube videos when they weren't able to meet. That led kids in worship, right? Yeah. I know you've got someone on your Hello Team that always volunteers when it's raining to hold the sign at the road. Yep. That's the kind of studs I know at Jenks, for sure. Yeah, holding the sign, handing out umbrellas, making the videos for the kids, worship videos. I mean, it's an all-in mentality, and we all realize we're pulling on the same rope. And, our student ministry, we've seen God just do some amazing things and helping students to understand their identity in Christ. And that's an area that's just near and dear to my heart, as I know it is for you as well. And man, we have just been blessed with a rock star team that not only leads at our campus, but when we do global events, the Jenks Dream Team members are a large makeup of the individuals that are helping to run those events. And man, the level of engagement they have of sharing their life with these students and having these hard conversations and praying and this discipleship that is playing out, it's just outstanding. Yeah. And man, we got an incredible worship team and tech team, and man, they're just such a talent and such a gift. And it's funny because I'll go to other churches outside of Battlecreek and be a part of maybe a weekend experience and then to come back and I realize, man, we are blessed with some very talented people, from our voices to our music instrumentalists to those that are working back in our tech booth. And we're just so blessed with a team that's not only gifted, but that's humble. And they realize that
it's none of it's about them, but it's about glorifying Christ. And yeah, man, from every area in our campus of people that serve through the week, that come in and give of their time to get things ready. I mean, we're just so blessed. And I would hate to name off any individual because I just would not be doing justice to the people that make up Battlecreek Jenks.
Do a great job. We celebrate all the volunteers. And
absolutely.
So if you're listening and you volunteer at Jenks, you're a part of a dream team.
Love y'all.
Great job.
All stars.
Thanks for being a part of the mission and the vision that God has.
You're taking us there. Absolutely.
Hey, let me ask you this. In the past year, we've had to do things a little bit different. Mm-hmm. It's been very interesting. You highlighted some new ministry focus that you've had to have. We've had to do different things with online deliveries, and as a campus pastor, you had to be creative. But as I think about our churches, we're 6 campuses of one church. I'm curious for you, like, how have you seen our campuses work together in the last year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jeff, I mean, one thing that just comes to my mind is as we're sitting here looking at each other, is just the If gathering, right?
Yeah,
God blessed us with the ability to link arms and to host that event together. And man, it's always such a joy for our campuses to come together, right? Because we all realize that, man, what God is doing at Battlecreek Church is so much bigger than just what is happening at one single location.
Right.
But it spreads globally, even to the Middle East, of what God is doing. And so, man, it was just such a joy to be able to partner with your church and your campus and your women's ministry, and what God did at the If gathering was just incredible as we watched so many lives just being encouraged and changed and through that process. And then, as I look back to even this past summer when we were able to do the food truck delivery.
Yeah, that was cool.
You remember that? And,
and
we got to partner at different sites that were actually hosting those food trucks. And I remember at our campus, South Tulsa came over, and man, they were just such an encouragement to be able to serve alongside some just amazing people, and watching our people link arms with each other and serving together to reach our community was just such an encouragement for me. And it's been really neat. Like you said, we've had to really change how we've done some things. But through that, there's been some real creativity that's come out that's really not just existed at the campus level, but that's brought us together as a church and as campuses.
Yeah. It is great when we have opportunities to come together, right? I think about our week of prayer that we just had, like where we all came together, and just the amazing synergy and the worship environment that we had whenever we realized that, hey, we are really covering Tulsa.
Yes.
Like north, south, east, and west, right in the middle. I'm thankful to be a part of a church that is strategically located in communities and pockets of communities. To reach people with the gospel.
Absolutely.
And, it's just cool to work together. That's why I love things like camp. I'm super excited about camp this summer with our kids ministry and students, and like working alongside some of your volunteers. I don't get to see a lot.
It's fun.
They're fun. It's almost like a family reunion.
Absolutely.
You come back
to see all your people.
You high five and hug it out. And you're like, man, good to see you, buddy. Let's jump in this. So
and I think, Jeff, one of the things that has been really a blessing, it's a newer ministry of the church, is Haven.
Oh, that's good.
There's special needs, and Tracy and her team, they just do a phenomenal job at that. And they've extended it in such a way that we're able to have Haven now at our campuses, and specifically there at our Jenks campus. Tracy's just blessed us with this ministry, and to be able to extend our resources and our personnel from our Broken Arrow campus to now to the Jenks campus, and to be able to love on these families that otherwise probably just wouldn't be coming to church. It's just such a cool gift to be able to have, just to work together, once again, as you said, as different campuses.
Yeah, for sure. Tracy does a phenomenal job with our special needs. It's just a gift that God has given her, and a joy and a passion. And I love seeing when God aligns all those things and how he blesses it. And here at Broken Arrow campus, where we are recording this today, like they've had this for a long time. It's been an emphasis. And Tracy's done a phenomenal job. One thing she does here that I love is the event called Recess. And people from my campus, and I know your campus too, several people that come and volunteer. And so for me, I love seeing how we all come together to serve the people that get to be blessed by Recess.
Yes, she just did it's a smaller version of Recess called Respite Night at our campus. And it was just such a blessing because we were able to welcome in families from the community. And so we had Jenks Haven volunteers serving alongside Broken Arrow Haven volunteers.
Yeah.
And all under the umbrella of let's love these families.
Let's go.
And let's show them the love of Christ.
One
And
team,
just
one dream.
One
That's
team,
good.
one dream. It's a beautiful picture.
I love it, man. That's cool. As we think about 2021, we're already a few months into this now. What are some things that we can join you in praying for your campus in Jenks?
Yeah, man. I think that the best is yet to come for the Jenks campus. We've seen God move and we've seen God work and do some amazing things, but I think we're just on the cusp of what God really wants to do in our community through Pastor Alex's teaching and through Battlecreek Church. And so, man, I think just praying that God would continue to give us a passion to reach the lost in our city. From our people to our staff, that we would always just be on fire to understand that our reason for being here is to reach people with the gospel message of Jesus Christ. And however creative we got to get to do that, we want to be able to take that time and get creative with it.
Yeah.
And man, I think just we're seeing so many new young families right now come through, and just praying that as we continue to go through the season, that we'll continue to connect with those families.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to pull them in under the umbrella of Battlecreek Church.
Yeah.
And just wisdom, Yeah. We all need wisdom and just understanding and patience through the process as we continue to allow or we continue to wait for God's blessing at our campus.
Yeah. Now, I tell you, Jenks is exploding. Just the city of Jenks, just it's exploding on every edge of the city that it can grow.
Yeah.
You've got the new outlet mall coming. You've got people building houses left and right. And so, my prayer for your campus is you run out of chairs.
Absolutely.
That the fire marshal said, hey, listen, you can't fit any more bodies in this worship center because people are breaking down the door to come. And, they don't have to have another campus in Jenks, Why not? Let's go Jenks North, Jenks South. Let's go.
Let's pray for that warehouse to open up at Jenks.
Let's go.
Make that a worship center.
Come on, Lord. That's awesome, man. What about you and your family? Like, how are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Like, how have y'all been this year?
Yeah. So, you said we celebrate 3 years as a campus. Well, that always tells me how old my youngest is, Emery. So we've got 3 little girls, and my wife and I, we just celebrated 13 years of marriage. And so God's blessed me with just an absolute sweetheart. And man, our family's good. We've been blessed with some great times of just being able to be still and just to be in each other's presence, through this whole season, and excited about what God has for us in the future as we're able to continue to be a part of Battlecreek Church. And man, they're just good. Hadley's growing up, and she started when we started here at Battlecreek. She was a little girl. Now she's in 2nd grade, about to move into 3rd grade, and our middle child Emery, she's about to move into kindergarten. And so man, they keep us running and keep us moving. But man, I wouldn't want anything different. I love my girls. Absolutely love my girls.
One of the joys of student ministry, being student pastors, is watching your kids, your adolescents, grow up to be adults.
Yeah.
And being in a place for a long time, being a Broken Arrow for you as a high school pastor.
Yes.
And then staying around and then launching the Jenks campus. You've had some kids that have grown up to be
absolutely
adults. Tell us about the group that you and Jan are leading in your campus.
Yeah, man, it's really unique. You stick around somewhere long enough, you'll really start to feel old. And so we have some students that have been a part of student ministry, not just at Battlecreek Church, but churches we've served at just throughout my entire time spent in ministry, that we've started this new community group on Monday nights. It's a young married community group, meets at our house every Monday night at 7:00. And every single one of these couples, I've been blessed with the opportunity to perform every single one of their marriages.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I was, at least for one of the spouses, I was their student pastor at some point in time.
Cool. And
so, man, you're right. The life stages you get to walk through with people it's just really neat. And so I've been able to watch them, some of them as junior high students to high school students to college students, and now coming over to our house as young married couples, and some of them getting ready to have their first child, and just continuing this journey with them is just such a bucket filler.
Yeah.
And it's just so much fun to watch God working in their lives, and continuing to be able to walk this journey with them has just been such a blessing for Jan and I.
Man, that's cool. So good to hear. I love what God is doing at your campus.
Yes, sir.
And thankful that God is using you and your gifts and your family. And, you know, again, we're going to be praying for you. Anybody listening to this podcast, pray for Jenks. God will continue to use it to be a light in that community. Man, it's going to be the best.
Yes, sir.
The best is ahead. The best days
I believe it.
are ahead. So, all right, I got a lightning round for you.
Okay.
All right, this is just. I mean, really, there's no spiritual emphasis in this. Just wanted to get just so the audience listening can get to know you a little bit more. Coffee or tea?
Neither. I'd pick Diet Dr. Pepper.
That wasn't an answer, but okay, we'll go with that here. This one may be tough.
Okay.
Maybe not. I think I know your answer. Branson or the beach?
That's tough. Does it depend upon the season?
You just tell me the answer. It's just,
I'd say the beach.
I knew you'd say that.
Yeah.
I knew you'd say that. Yeah.
But that's a hard answer.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
it's
a
a
hard
tough
answer.
one. You guys are
Silver
frequent
Dollar City
flyers.
calls my name, man.
Oh, come on now. Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Grilled or fried chicken?
Grilled.
It's good. Yeah. What is worse, laundry or dishes?
Laundry.
Same. You got 3 kids.
My wife would say, but you don't do it. So
That's true.
maybe that's why it's worse.
The sheer amount of socks that I have to sort sometimes.
Man. And trying to match them up.
I just learned a life hack. That you just get the mesh bags and each kid gets their own mesh bag and you wash their socks in
good
the
hack.
bag.
I'm going to have to do that.
To try that. All right. Are you a movie at home or in the theater person?
Theater.
Yeah. Have you been to a movie in the theater
I've
since
been to
COVID?
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it feel good?
It was Crudes too. So, you know, wasn't great this movie, but it was fun.
Yeah.
We had popcorn.
I love it. Are you ebook or paper book?
Paper book.
Yeah.
I like to write in them.
Yeah. What's comfort food for you?
Peanut butter M&Ms.
Bro,
Peanut butter
we
M&Ms.
share that, man.
And I like the family size bag. Like, not the little one.
I want the Sam's bag,
Oh,
actually.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Forget family size. I want the,
Yep.
on a road trip.
Peanut butter
those are-
M&Ms and a quick trip Diet Dr. Pepper. You can't get much better.
Listen, Earth is about to end. Jesus told you he's coming back. What is the last meal that you eat?
I'm having pizza
Pizza.
from Hideaway
Come on.
in Stillwater. There's a difference.
The original.
The original.
Yeah.
Much better.
OG.
Yes.
Yeah. What about this? You're on a deserted island. Food and water are provided for you. What else do you bring?
I bring a TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, Lucas, thanks for being on the pod today.
I appreciate it, man.
So
It's
great
been an
hearing
honor.
about what's going on
Yes, sir.
at Jenks campus. Listen, follow Lucas on Facebook for more updates. You know, Jenks has a Facebook page, very
Yep. active,
by the way.
Yeah.
Always updates about what's going on. And, you know, mentioned earlier about your journey to here. And I just want to say thank you for your leadership. We're so glad that God brought you to Battlecreek Church, and we know that you're the right person to lead this campus.
Appreciate it.
To help all people come to know God, find freedom,
Yes, sir.
discover their purpose, and to make a difference, not just in Jenks, but across the world. And so, man, we're here for you. We're in your corner. We're cheering you on. We're praying for you, man.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to Beyond Battlecreek. This show is produced by Battlecreek Church in Tulsa, Oklahoma. To keep up with everything going on in the church, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And if you enjoy this show, be sure to share it. We'll see you next episode.